Itinaas na ng PhilHealth ng mahigit doble ang mga benepisyo para sa mga malulubhang karamdaman tulad ng acute stroke at pulmonya. Ang limit na ngayon para sa mga kondisyon na ito ay itinaas na hanggang 76,000 piso at 70,000 piso. Upang mapaigting pa ang paglaban natin sa kanser, tinaasan ng PhilHealth ng mahigit 1,000% ang benepisyo para sa paggamot ng breast cancer. Ang dating limit na 100,000 piso, ngayon ay ginawa na nating 1.4 million pesos. Ang benepisyo naman para sa colon cancer ay pinag-evaluate na rin. At bago matapos ang taon, may sasama na rin sa mga benepisyo ng PhilHealth ang chemotherapy para sa cancer sa baga, ay ovary at prostate. Naglaan po tayo ng mas mataas na pondo para sa ating medical assistance program. Kaya higit na mas marami pang mga Pilipino ang matutulungan nito ngayong taon. Aside from our aggressive hiring efforts, we have enhanced medical and allied health programs, allocated seed funds for public medical schools, and launched scholarships and review and upskilling programs. These are to support the medical and nursing professions with the goal to strengthen and increase our human resources for health. As part of our recalibrated health approach towards prevention and healthy habit, we are prioritizing vaccinations, nutrition, mental well-being, and active and healthy lifestyles. Tuloy-tuloy ang ating paghahabol sa pagbabakuna ng mga sanggol at ang mga bata, lalo na sa Region 6 at sa BARM, kung saan kulang pa sa kalahati ang nakakanabakunan. At tuloy na tuloy din ang Philippine Plan of Action for Nutrition, na ating binibigyan tuon ngayong Hulyo, buwan ng nutrition. Ang convergent programs to stamp out hunger and malnutrition were not only successfully launched, but have yielded inspiring results thus far. One survey confirmed that our expanding school-based feeding program has had a significant impact on the physical and mental well-being of more than half of the learner beneficiaries. Therefore, we will continue to further enhance these feeding programs in schools and daycare centers. The recently launched Walang Gutom 2027 will now be fully rolled out from the initial 2,300 households, now all the way to 300,000 food-poor households across the country by the end of this year. But the program will go on until we feed the 1 million most food-poor families by 2027. An important component of our strategies to address malnutrition shall be the program for the first 1,000 days, or the first 2 years of a child's life. To ensure the health and nutrition of children 0 to 2 years old from the poorest families, we have proposed in the 2025 budget a new grant under the Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino program for this purpose. Sa pamamagitan nito, ang isang o ang isang ina na benepisyaryo ng 4Ps ay mabibigyan ng karagdagang tulong pinansyal na laan para sa kanya at sa kanyang anak. Ang tulong na ito ay upang matiyak na siya at ang sanggol na kanyang sinapupunan o batang anak ay maaasikaso ng doktor, mababakunahan at mabibigyan ng sapat na nutrisyon. Closely related to these, the DOST has been continuously undertaking scientific research to develop nutritious food and drinks which can be integrated into the government's feeding program. Government is aware of the pressing yet delicate social issues of the day, such as the mental well-being of our people. The DOH has launched its comprehensive mental health plan and ensured sufficient supply of medications. PhilHealth has also released this year its mental health benefit package for all its members. At the same time, grassroots and sports for all programs are back in the mainstream, catering to Filipinos of all ages. Nailunsad na namang muli ang taunang palarong pambansa matapos ang 3 taon na pagkakatigil nito dahil sa pandemya. Binabati natin ang Marikina at Cebu at ang kagawaran ng edukasyon sa kanilang matagumpay na pagtatanghal ng mga palarong ito. We will continue to support these health-enhancing sports programs. Through these, we will also set forth our youth on the same well-established path that has taken some of our national champions and renowned athletes to sporting greatness. As we speak, 28 of our finest athletes are competing in Paris now for the glory of the Philippines. Let us wish them well and the best of luck. Sa larangan naman ng edukasyon, investing in our own people is not only a fundamental moral imperative for us, but an economic one as well. In its report, the World Bank revealed that our promising economic growth is largely attributable to our people. The great bulk of the country's wealth is being created by the skill, the industry, and the resourcefulness of all Filipinos. Ngunit, sadyang marami pang ibubuga ang Pinoy. We must harness the totality of the Filipinos' potential. Thus, for consecutive years, we have prioritized an increase in budget for the inclusive development of Filipinos, not just in food, nutrition, and health, but even more so in education and training. Recent assessments have revealed the poor reality that more than half of our grades 6, 10, and 12 students have failed to reach the ideal proficiency levels, faring low in information literacy, problem solving, and critical thinking skills. Therefore, our National Learning Recovery Program must proceed without the slightest disruption, especially in basic education. Our system of education must be strategically calibrated to make sure that our youth are not only taught to become literate, but it has also consciously developed them into problem solvers and into critical thinkers, hungry for success, ready for the future. Similarly, as we relentlessly address the classroom gap, the digital gap must also be bridged with equal intensity. We are working towards the day when all students will be equipped with computers, smart TVs, essential programs, digital books, once again, access to reliable power and the internet. Digitalization and solar-powered electricity must now become the standard features in our schools and in our classrooms. Simply put, this is educational reform through technology. The perennial problems surrounding textbooks shall be resolved. The production of instructional materials, especially textbooks, which are up-to-date and error-free, must be ensured. The whole process, from approval of manuscript to procurement, all the way to distribution, will be cut short from its present 3 years to just 1 year. Ito ngayon ang magiging hamon sa ating bagong kalihim, na tiyakin ang pagbangon at pagtaas ng kalidad ng edukasyon sa bansa sa lalong madaling panahon. Clearly, of course, the quality of our education rests on the quality of our teachers. Every classroom that we build will be empty and lifeless structure without its moving force, the teacher. But our teachers are not just perfunctory figures in our schools. They are the very foundation of our educational system. And so, as we build and upgrade schools, so too must we uplift and upskill our teachers, whose competence and trademark Filipino patience, determination, and compassion will be at the core of our national learning recovery. Dinagdagan natin ang mga empleyado ng hahalili sa mga guro upang magampanan ang mga sari-saring gawain sa paaralan. Sa gayon, ang ating mga guro ay makakatutok ng mabuti sa kanilang propesyon na pagtuturo. Katuwang ang Kongreso na isabatas na ang Kabalikat sa Pagtuturo Act. Ito ay magbibigay sa mga guro nasa pampublikong paaralan ng taunang teaching allowance para pambili ng mga kagamitan sa pagtuturo at mga kaugnay na gastusin. Matatanggap na nila ito simula sa susunod na taon. Meron na rin silang personal accident insurance mula sa GSIS. Makakapaghatid din na ginawa ang special hardship allowance sa mga karagdagang public school teacher na masasaklaw nito na nakakaranas ng matinding hirap at panganib sa kanilang araw-araw na pagtatrabaho. At wala na ring utang tagi sa mga teacher. Hindi magiging hadlang ang kanilang pagkakautang upang makapag-renew ng kanilang mga lisensya. Bagkus, marapat lamang na sila ay payagan pa rin makapagturo nang sila ay makapaghanap buhay at mayroong kinikita. Of equal significance, we have allocated funds to finally implement the expanded career progression system for our public school teachers. This will promote professional development and career advancement within their ranks. This expanded system lays out two major career paths for teachers to pursue: teaching and the school administration tracks, each of which shall have ample career growth opportunities. With this system in place, we will accelerate the career growth of teachers. Sa sistemang ito, wala nang public school teacher ang magre-retire na teacher 1 lamang. Sa madaling sabi, kung talagang ninanais nating maging matagumpay ang hinahangad nating pagbangon sa larangan ng edukasyon, sila, ang ating mga guro, ang dapat nating itaguyod at patatagin. Last year, we reported that our system of higher education was gaining international recognition for all the right reasons. As further evidence, 87 of our higher educational institutions have now made it into various world university rankings. 51 of them are public universities or colleges. Also, we witnessed this past school year a significant rise in the enrollment rate in higher education, both in public and in private institutions. The same upward trend is likewise noted in technical vocational education and training, or TVET. Statistics do not lie. 8 out of 10 graduates of TVET actually land decent jobs. So with its high employability rate, TVET will definitely be instrumental in capacitating our people and maintaining our employment rate at consistently high levels. Cognizant of its potential, the DepEd, CHED, DOLE, and TESDA have joined forces now to incorporate TVET in the senior high school curriculum to further boost the employability of our students. The Philippinovation and Balikhaing Pinoy programs have been launched, both drawing vast interest and inspiring key sectors and the public to generate solutions, to share ideas, and to drive innovation forward across the country. The IT and creative sectors are burgeoning industries, knowing no territorial bounds, and they hold great promise for our talented and hardworking people. This is the call of our times, and we are moving to answer that call. The schools will serve as a preeminent incubators of the innovative and creative energies of all Filipinos. Advanced learning systems and technologies in the areas of robotics, artificial intelligence, and the Internet of Things shall be made available in TVET Innovation Centers nationwide. Highly technical and professional level training courses will soon be launched, notably in cybersecurity and in the creative industries. Of our globally ranked HEIs, 63 have made it into the WURI Global Top 300 Innovative Universities. In the face In the face of tough global competition, the Mabalacat City College in Pampanga was awarded the Technological or Digital Innovation of the Year. And for the second straight year, Samar State University topped the rankings for its digitally pioneering R&D project entries. Relevant scholarships and R&D grants will continue to be available, aligned with our agenda of startups. To commercialize and mass-produce R&D outputs, crucial support, such as intellectual property rights enforcement and venture financing, have been put into place. We are also building essential infrastructure and linkages to support the ethical development of artificial intelligence systems for high-impact practical applications. Since the nation's foray into space technology, our satellites in space have generated more than 51,000 maps, images, and spaceborne data for various purposes. These now provide us with vital information that guides our country's stratagems and decision-making in agricultural development, urban planning, and environmental management, including the strengthening of our maritime domain awareness, to name but a few examples. Along with these discoveries, we are likewise in awe of our countrymen who have carved out their niche as pioneering space scientists and engineers in this emergent field, in collaboration with local space technology companies that provide an additional impetus. As we speak, 16 of our space engineers are in the United Kingdom, resuming work on the development of the Multispectral Unit for Land Assessment, or the MULA satellite. Once completed, the MULA satellite will be our largest Earth observation satellite to be launched into space so far. May they inspire the next generation of Filipino students to follow their footsteps and reach for the stars. Sa ating mga trabador, our employment rate has increased to 95.9%. We also saw a significant increase in quality jobs. Underemployment too has decreased from 11.7% in May of 2023 to 9.9% today. This is our lowest number since 2005. Notably, we also saw an increase in middle-skilled employment, wage and salaried employment, and full-time jobs. Magagandang balita pa rin ang mga ito sa kabila ng nararanasang mataas na presyo ng pagkain. Bukod sa paglikha ng trabaho, pinalalakas din natin ang kakayahan ng ating mga mamamayan, lalo na sa panahon ng kanilang kagipitan. Our adaptive and responsive social protection programs assist our countrymen in times of dire need, reaching those in geographically isolated and disadvantaged areas. More importantly, these programs seek to develop their productive potential and bridge their capacities towards self-sufficiency. With a noble aim of breaking the cycle of poverty across the country, the Pantawid Pamilya Program, the Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino program, has not only consistently accomplished its annual targets, it has also proven its efficacy over the years. Mula nung nakaraang SONA, mahigit 420,000 pamilya ang nag-graduate sa programa. Ibig sabihin, sa tulong ng 4Ps, mas gumanda na ang kanilang kalagayan at kakayahang makipagsapalaran sa laban ng buhay. Sa katunayan, mahigit 4,000 graduate ng 4Ps ay nasa hanay na ngayon ng mga lisensyadong guro. At hindi lamang yun, 35 sa mga top-notcher ng sari-saring mga board exam na idinaos nitong nakalipas na 2 taon ay nagmula sa mga pamilya na benepisyaryo ng 4Ps. Ilan sa kanila ay si Teacher Kane Jevy Cervantes ng Davao Oriental na nakakuha ng number 1 sa licensure examination for professional teachers. Isa rin, si Engineer Alexis Alegado na nanguna sa Civil Engineering Board exam noong Abril ng nakalipas na taon. Tomorrow, the birthday of Apolinario Mabini will cap off the National Disability Rights Week. Our PWDs can rest assured of government's effective implementation of beneficial policies and programs that will guarantee equitable opportunities, special interventions, and incentives for them. Mula nang pumasok ang administrasyong ito, nagsimula na ang mga programang pangkabuhayan na nakalaan para sa ating mga PWD. Sa susunod na taon, ilulunsad naman ng PhilHealth ang benepisyo nito para sa mga batang may kapansanan. Halos dinoble na rin ang diskwento na ibinibigay sa mga PWD at sa mga senior citizen na tulad ninyo para sa mga basic necessities at prime commodities. Natuwa kayong lahat nun. Sa lahat ng mga ginagawa natin ito, katuwang natin palagi ang pribadong sektor, lalo na sa mahalagang bagay ng trabaho at pasahod. Tripartite consensus, minimum wage levels have been increased in various sectors in all regions, including the BARP, for workers and private establishments. Makakapagdulot ito ng ginhawa sa mahigit 4 na milyong mga kababayan na natin at ng kanilang mga pamilya. Ang naman sa ating mga kawani ng gobyerno, mayroon silang maaasahang medical allowance bilang karagdagang benepisyo sa susunod na taon. At hindi lamang yun, meron din napipintong aumento sa sweldo na makukuha nila sa 4 na tranche. Naglaan na po tayo ng pondo para dito simula sa taong ito at sa mga susunod na taon. Furthermore, we have extended the services of our job order and contract of service personnel working in government. This will also afford them ample opportunity to work on their civil service eligibilities while gaining additional relevant experience and training to upgrade their employment qualifications. Our aggressive infrastructure development, business-friendly policies, investment and export promotions, foreign visits, and economic missions are all aimed at generating not just jobs, but quality and competitive jobs. A substantial number of investment pledges have already commenced operations, with many more at various stages of development. Sa bilang natin, bukod sa malalaking kita para sa bansa, makakalikha ang mga ito ng mahigit 200 at 2,000 trabaho para sa ating mga kababayan. The rationalized incentive scheme under the CREATE Act has also made possible the generation of investments amounting to more than 1 trillion pesos and more than 100,000 new jobs. This promising state of affairs is now beckoning us to create more through the passage of the Create More Act. Conscious efforts to improve the ease of doing business and delivering government services through digitalization, integration, and streamlining of processes have produced their intended multiplier effects. Cost savings from operations have translated to higher revenues and to more speedy transactions. These have effectively addressed the fragmented, overlapping, and time-consuming procedures that have hindered optimal productivity by government. Attributable to these transformative reforms, government services are becoming more efficient. More and more systems are now digital and cashless, assimilating individuals, MSMEs, even agricultural workers. These have expedited transactions and commercial exchanges and promoted the convenience of all parties concerned. Ang Paling QR ay isa sa mga programang unti-unting lumalakas, ang hatak sa publiko at dumarami ang gumagamit. Bolstering our Cybercrime Prevention Act, The recently passed Anti-Financial Account Scamming Act will further protect the public by heightening the responsibility and security systems of banks and financial institutions and imposing high criminal liabilities on social engineering schemes and money mules. Job placement also has seen significant progress, especially through our Public Employment Service Offices, or PESOs, nationwide. PESOs have harnessed IT capabilities and improved labor industry coordination. Collectively, they boast a job placement success rate of 98%. Likewise, due to shortened timelines, we have recorded a significant increase in new business and corporate registrations, including foreign firms, which surpassed last year's numbers. The observed choke points in our food supply chains and in the logistics sectors are now being removed. And at the same time, the identified gaps are being filled in to make them efficient, interconnected, and seamless, saving precious time and cost. The approval of energy projects is moving towards complete virtual integration of its required procedures. The expedited processing of our infrastructure flagship projects under the Build Better More program shall also follow suit. Our digital infrastructure was substantially strengthened courtesy of common towers that more than tripled in number since last year, owing to streamlining of permitting requirements. Air transport and tourism have been made more convenient because of the shift to paperless immigration and customs forms, thanks to the e-travel system. And soon the piloted e-gates will be standard fixtures at airports to further facilitate ease of mobility during departures and arrivals. And with all this said, the implementation of the Philippine e-visa will be next in our digital transformation agenda. Let us now go to tourism, because we in the Philippines have no less than 7,641 beautiful reasons to tap the potential of our tourism sector, for which our archipelagic nation is internationally renowned and from which many Filipinos derive their livelihood. While a resurgence in this all-important sector is being observed, pre-pandemic data present to us a great challenge that we must surpass. It is a challenge that is well within our grasp. Our infrastructure and digital reforms to development of tourism sites and the enhancement of the overall tourist experience are all calculated to boost the productivity of the tourism sector. While doing so, we shall interpose the wholesome and hospitable Filipino brand in all the key tourism touchpoints, from tourist arrival all the way to departure. But the tourism challenge has already evolved and now requires a multifaceted strategy. The focus now is on experiential tourism. Food, culture, heritage, the arts, education, halal, Islamic traditions, dive, cruise, farm and ecotourism, even sports, have now become focus subjects and products of a nation's tourism. This is an imperative, and that we must elevate and expand our understanding of the one town, one product, or OTO concept. It must not inhibit, but rather it must inspire. We must not intend as one. Rather, we must seek the optimal number of high-quality products and services which at the same time showcase our community's distinctive history, traditions, and talents. Filipino creativity and ingenuity will enliven and unlock the as yet untapped potential of these new facets of Philippine tourism. Sa ating mga OFW, ayon sa datos ng Bangko Sentral, mahigit 37 bilyong dolyar ang naipasok sa bansa ng ating mga OFW noong nakalipas na taon. Sadyang napakalaking tulong nito sa ating bumabangon na ekonomiya. Kaya hindi lamang pasasalamat, kundi parangal ang ating ipinapaabot sa lahat ng ating mga OFW. Sana ay napapanood nila ito Ramdam na ramdam hanggang dito sa ating bansa ang inyong sakripisyo. Through vital partnerships with like-minded states, we have been able to promote our mutual interests, resulting not only in investments here and our strengthened national security, but also in quality jobs for our nationals seeking foreign employment. Through intense Philippine lobbying, the United Nations has adopted the resolution on promoting and protecting the enjoyment of human rights of seafarers. This will ensure their safe and decent living and working conditions at sea, a human rights imperative. Patuloy ang ating pagtulong sa mga OFW. Hindi ito natatapos sa kanilang sa bansa. Karagdagang mga espesyal na pasilidad at serbisyo ang ating binuksan para sa kanila, tulad ng OFW Lounge sa NAIA at Seafarers Hub sa Maynila. Ang mga OFW natin na naapektuhan ng sari-saring mga kaguluhan